And good evening, Ted Ligety. Thanks for joining us all the way from your training camp in Ryder Alm. Ted, how were your holidays?
My holidays are great. I was actually lucky enough to get back home to Park City and hang out with the family, do some skiing at Deer Valley, which is fun with Jax. And yeah, it's great. The twins are 5.5 months old now, so they're really fun to be around, and they're smiling, laughing, gooing, gawing, and Jax is skiing up at Deer Valley with me, which was fun. So it was nice to get back. I feel lucky that I was able to have a little break.
Cool. Yeah, I know that you're globetrotting all over the place, and with three young boys, it's nice to get home. So where's your training base right now? I know you're leading up to the races in Adelboden coming up in this weekend. So where are you situated right now?
We're training right now in Ryder Alm, ready for Adelboden, exactly.
And Adelboden is an interesting place. This is one of the true classic giant slaloms. Tell us a little bit about that race and why it's such an important one for you as one of the great giant slalom skiers to look forward to.
Yeah, Adelboden is very unique. It's basically on a cow pasture. It's unlike any other hill you really ski at a normal ski area. It's a lot of terrain, a lot of like ups and downs and side hills, and it just is like looks unique. There's like farmhouses on the side of the trail where they store hay and everything, and it's wild. It's a totally different hill. It has two of like the steepest pitches on the World Cup. They're short, but one of them is like a free fall right down to the finish line. Like this year is going to be different because normally you like go over the last pitch and you're just like looking right at the stands at 40,000 people, and it's wild this year. So yeah, no crowds will be a little bit different, but it's a really unique hill. It's always a lot of fun. It's a challenging hill in the sense that like no two turns are alike. So it's always a fun one.
Yeah, that last pitch coming down into the stadium when it is full of fans is one of the most exhilarating experiences in ski racing. Let's talk a little bit about, first of all, your objectives right now, what you are shooting for. Is the 2022 Olympics in Beijing, are they still in your viewpoint?
Yeah, right now the goal is trying to go through the Olympics, taking it still race by race. But at this point, yeah, that's kind of like, I guess, the end all goal. I definitely won't go past that. But, you never really know. At this point in my career, I'm 36 years old. And right now just focusing on giant slalom. So, trying to like strike this balance between skiing and, spending enough time at home with the family as well. It's a tough balance, especially right now with having travel restrictions and all these things. But, trying to spend as much time with the family as possible, and then also trying to ski at a high level.
So let's look at your teammates. So I know that you have built a great legacy for yourself and for the men's team over the past 10 or 15 years. In the last year, and this season included, you've really seen some of that next generation step up and hit the podium and hit the top, and must give you a great sense of pride to know that you've helped to pilot these young athletes to their success.
Yeah, what Tommy Ford has done over the last 2 years has been awesome. We've been skiing and training together every day for the last 10 years. And it's great to see him come through and win World Cups, be on the podium now. Having the consistency he's having is awesome. Ryan Cochran-Siegel also, he's been like our GS guy that we lend to the speed team. It's having him on our group has been awesome. He's such a great guy. He has the ability to be amongst the fastest in the world in giant slalom. And obviously this year he's shown that like how important those GS skills are for translating to World Cup for that longevity. So it's cool to see him win that Super G a few weeks ago and get on the podium and downhill as well. And, I think there's going to be a lot more of those to come from him. So those two guys have been really fun to watch because those guys have been my training partners over the last bunch of years. And then, yeah, the rest of the team has been awesome. It's cool to see a bunch more girls beyond Michaela step it up in slalom and giant slalom as well. So that's been fun to watch as well.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch, just being able to tune in every weekend on Peacock or wherever the races are playing and know that there's a U.S. opportunity. So let's get to the matter at hand. This is Bryce and Ronnie Avalanche Safety Day, the first annual. It's the sixth anniversary since that tragic accident in 2015. I know that you did not know Bryce and Ronnie well, but what memories do you have of them and of that accident back in 2015?
Yeah, they're both on their first or second years on the team, and definitely the younger guys. And I remember seeing them in the gym, and we always play a lot of basketball or whatever other sports in the gym, and just seeing those guys. They're both fun-loving guys. Everybody always spoke so highly of them. I didn't spend a lot of time with them previously, but it was tough when we heard that news. It was actually like right before the race in Zagreb, which is happening for the guys as well. So that put us in a bad spot for sure. And it's something that, could happen to any of us. I remember so many times I've been in Solden actually years before that and skiing in the backcountry and side country there. And even like some of the, just like in Europe, the resorts don't mark what's controlled or not. And it's really easy to get into some scary situations that, being a young athlete and thinking you're invincible and just looking to have fun out in the powder, you don't think about the consequences really. So it's, I guess, to bring the light of what happened with them is really brought to the front of everybody's minds how important it is to have some snow safety, avalanche awareness, knowing what equipment you need, knowing to look at the forecast. All these things had become, much more forefront for myself as an athlete, but so many more guys in the team. It really shows us how important it is, because we ski race, we bash gates is a really controlled environment, but we all love to go skiing. I've been in the backcountry filming with Warren Miller, with GoPro or whatever it is, and for fun and to get some knowledge and awareness of what's going on in the backcountry and having the right equipment and all that stuff. Being with people that know what they're doing is really, really important. And I've come to appreciate that more and more and realize how important that is as I've gotten older.
Ted, you are known not just as a great gate racer, but someone who is good all over the mountain. And I know you enjoyed skiing the mountain when you were growing up in Park City. You've been able to get on some amazing mountains around the world. When you are making that decision to go off piste, what are some of the precautions that you take before you get off the groomed trails?
If I'm going to get off the groomed trails, I'm always looking at the forecast, the snow conditions, what the local avalanche report is saying. That's, I think, the most important key thing: having the right equipment, having your peeps, and having your probe and an ABS pack or whatever else it is, shovel, all those important equipment. Just being really aware of the surroundings. I mean, even if the Abby report is good, if you see signs of stuff sliding, you just don't do it. It's always important also to go with people also, so you're not out there by yourself, and go one at a time and all those things. So it's important to be very aware of your surroundings.
How important to you is skiing with someone with knowledge? I know you're oftentimes on mountains in Europe that you may have developed familiarity with over the years, but do you search out local mountain guides, or do you have those connections that can give you that extra added information?
When I go back home in Utah, when I go in the backcountry, I always go with somebody who knows far, far more, is either, taken a level 3+ Abbey course and knows more, and is also a more cautious person than I am, so that I have somebody there to pump the brakes for sure. But then in Europe, we've gone with some guides before too, at various places. So yeah, it's important to always try to have somebody more knowledgeable with you and somebody who knows what's going on.
Since the accident in 2015, Ted, have you seen a change in the awareness of the athletes you hang out with and the awareness down at the club level? Have you seen a greater sensitivity to this education?
On the team, I definitely have seen a big awareness. Like I said, like 10 years ago, we would just go do really crazy, stupid stuff that, looking back at it, I feel really lucky that, I'm here, because it's a powder day. You want to go powder skiing. You're super excited. You don't get to ski on your fat skis that often, and you just want to go. And now everybody, when it's a powder day, thinks first before getting out there and makes sure we have peeps and we have the right equipment. Whereas before, we just go out there and no equipment or anything. And so that's something that's definitely changed. On the club level, I think everybody knows now that there's awareness in the US, at least in the ski areas for the most part, it's very well controlled. But once you duck that rope, you're on your own. And I think the awareness for that's becoming more and more.
Just one final thing, Ted. This is Bryce and Ronnie Avalanche Snow Safety Day, and in a few minutes, this group is going to be watching a live screening of Off Piste. You were one of the athletes that was featured in that film, and it's really helped to educate over 1 million skiers and snowboarders around the world. What one recommendation or piece of advice might you give to those listening here today on Bryce and Ronnie Snow Safety Education Day?
I mean, just remembering their legacy is really important. I mean, of course, it's, getting out and getting the gear, getting the training, getting the forecast, get the picture, and get out of harm's way. Those are the big things that they really preach at Brass. So that's important to know, what you're doing.
Well, Ted, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be watching this weekend. Good luck to you in Adelboden and on the way to Beijing.
And thank you very much. Thanks for having me.